Let me make sure. Live. Hang on. Now I gotta.
Yep. That's okay. No one's in yet anyway.
Yeah.
So we can all just hang out.
I was like shoving that last piece of protein bar in my mouth.
Actually, I didn't look in the mirror. I probably have peanut butter. Good.
YouTuber problems.
Yeah, the struggles of YouTube.
What? Oh, that's right. Your dad called. Okay, gotta pull it up. Pulling it up. Wait, is the mic?
Oh my gosh! What,
is
Jenny?
my volume all the way down?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea to make sure.
There we go.
So we've got Thomas and Stacy with us from I'm Not Lost, I'm RVing. We're all jammed in our trailer together for this live stream. We've been caravanning with them for, what, the past 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
2 weeks?
Probably.
Yeah, easily, because we were 5 days with you guys the first time before you even asked us.
Yeah.
True.
That's true.
I didn't count that as caravanning yet.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
But, I mean, I guess,
We'd officially met 5 days in person before they proposed.
Yeah.
Will you guys please caravan with us? Please.
We did. It was kind of like that. We did ask. And they were a little hesitant, but we kind of wooed them into it.
It was me. It was my fault.
Yeah.
Well, so to be honest, to make you feel any better, the first day of caravanning, I was honestly like,
Oh,
yeah,
I woke up the next day and I told him, I was like, I think I'm going to tell him I changed my mind.
That's what she said. No, I was like, hold on. We can figure it out. Just a little communication and we can figure it
I'm
out.
gonna turn this way.
Yeah, because Jenny and I were typically pretty introverted
Super
homebodies.
introverted,
We just kind of hang out in the trailer. And we just
It worked out great because y'all have work to do and we have work to do, which is nice because we get to hang out when we want to, but not like all the time. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Jenny, you were right. Scott got on and he was like, "Hey all, woohoo, my favorite peoples."
Oh, nice.
Favoritus.
Favoritus.
Oh, it's Scott. Okay,
Hi,
nice.
Scott.
So it's been fun caravanning so far. We have some cool videos coming up. So a couple on our channel. We compete.
Yes,
That's true, we do.
that was so
There is a
fun.
competition.
There is a competition involved.
We're not
It is
going to
a
give away
blast.
who wins.
Yes. What else is involved? Oh, I have a caravanning vlog that's going to showcase all of us and kind of our travels. So should be good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we've been
got
having a lot of fun, and we show them in an adventure video, and
We all go on an adventure.
we all go on an adventure together. And then we might go hiking where we are again too together, which would be fun.
Yes.
That'd be a lot of fun. So
Yeah. I think we only have like another, probably 2 weeks left
yeah,
together.
about 2 weeks.
And then we're going our separate ways. So.
Well, that's what we thought before we came here.
Yeah.
True.
And then y'all
Well,
just had
then
to
we
come
suckered
here.
you in. So,
True. I mean,
The weather sucked.
David
us in.
tried to run. David's like, no, I'm not going to hang out with you guys anymore. But then the weather was on our side, so you had no choice.
Yeah, we were going
It's
to
true.
the
It's
only
very true.
place where weather was good.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, well, that's where you're going then.
Good. It's like where the weather is passable.
Yeah, that's so
it's
true.
not
Yeah.
even that great.
Yeah, we thought it was gonna be good here, and then
It's going to be amazing, though, in a couple days.
yeah.
True. Very true.
Way better than the snow we had a week ago.
Yeah.
I was not ready to see the snow. I was not okay with that.
Yeah,
I looked out the window and I just thought, oh, what is this? I don't have any of my warm clothes. They're all we have a massive tote in the back of our truck where we keep all of our like winter clothes. So like I don't have a coat. Like the warmest thing I have is a sweatshirt, and it's not even a heavy sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So
Both of our coats are jammed up into the front of the truck, so it's like I don't want to get those out unless we're gonna be in the winter for a while.
yeah.
Luckily for us, since we have no storage space, our winter clothes are under our dinette, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But we still have to get it out every time.
Yeah.
Ours were under our dinette, so like we had the U dinette here, and like this section was like nice and big and deep, and all our winter clothes were in there, and it took up so much room. But like in order to get all that out, like you had to take the back cushions off and the center cushion, and then like there's that plywood thing to take out, and then you have to pull them all out and find out what you need.
Yeah.
And it wasn't organized down there; it was literally just shoved in there. So
It's really nice, like owning nothing.
Yeah.
Because the less you own, the less you have to worry about and desire to have. So
That's true. Yeah, the back of the truck, having so much storage in the bed of the truck is kind of a blessing and a curse because it's good to be able to have more stuff, but then it's annoying because it's all the stuff that's all the way at the front of the truck bed is just buried. So if you need to get to any of it, it's just a pain. So it's like, why do I even have it? But That's
I hope
kind
you're
of how it
prepared to
works.
pet Sweetie for an entire hour.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's keeping her head like perfectly right here.
that's awesome. So Deborah says, Thomas and Stacy, when are you coming to Cali?
It's gonna be a few months.
Probably
so,
next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be next year because we're going to Utah and then we fly home from Utah to get my family fix, fly back, and I think we're Christmasing in Washington, and then we're gonna kind of make our way down the coast and winter in Arizona. So we'll probably do Quartzsite this year. So yeah, it will be, I guess, after Christmas.
So
Yep.
next year.
So next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck says, my wife says I can go RVing when I hit the lottery.
Aw.
Womp womp.
It's not expensive.
Yeah, you can
If you,
actually
if
make
you
it.
plan it right.
It's as expensive as you make it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
That's
can
so
be.
true.
Yeah, it can be pretty cheap.
it
but
can be
also
it can be
insane.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Is it because of cost, or she just doesn't like the idea of full timing?
That's a good question.
I have found that a lot of women don't enjoy the idea of full timing, and they actually struggle with the transition. I struggled, and a lot of the couples that we've met, it's always been the woman who has struggled to do the transition.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's because we're homebodies or we're more attached
I'm
to,
not sure.
our relationships and stuff, and it's harder for us to let go. But
That's interesting.
Maybe it was easy for me just because like I only my whole life I've only ever had like a handful of friends, like literally one hand. And I've always wanted to travel. Growing up, my grandparents, whenever we'd go and visit for the summer, we'd go out and explore places all around California and Nevada and stuff. So like I already had like the traveling itch and I loved it. So
Yeah.
for me it was easy. Super
Yeah.
easy. Was it easy for you? It's been hard now, right?
it
With
wasn't.
family?
Well, I was really excited. So I was very excited to do the journey, but it wasn't easy for me because I struggle with, emotional ups and downs. And for those of you who don't know, I, used to have a mental health counselor back home that I could talk to on a regular basis. And going full time, I kind of lost that. So I kind of lost my support system. And that was a struggle for me to transition and find how to, I guess, readjust.
Mhm.
And then when we changed RVs, it was hard for me again because I was going to an even smaller space.
Mhm.
And so I think overall
Makes
it probably
sense.
took me the first time it was probably a month and a half before I was like, okay, I'm cool with being away from home and
Yeah.
stuff. And then when we transitioned to the new RV, it probably took me another month to get comfortable again because it kind of felt like I was in a box at first.
Mm,
So,
makes sense.
Well, you
but
are. You
Thomas
are
has
in a
had
box.
no
Yeah.
trouble adjusting.
No,
Yeah.
no problems whatsoever.
He could care less if we ever go back home. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see friends and family, but
Mhm.
it's also awesome to experience some of the awesome stuff that we've been experiencing. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
we'd always go back home and see them. So
yeah.
Oh, and there's the rain.
Hey.
Yeah. I know.
Perfect.
At least it's not snow, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jenny, your dad is on. He said it's like you're sitting right here. Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Dad. He doesn't comment very often.
Oh,
when he
Scott
watches.
says it was Charlotte's idea for them to full time.
oh
Really?
wow, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it was my idea for us, but Jenny was the one that
I was the one
like,
that pushed it.
she was like gung ho. Yeah, from the
Mhm.
start, she was like instant. Yeah, we need to full time. Period. And I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, calm it down. I don't know if this is just something I brought up. I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah, you're happy you did it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm super happy. I actually, like you said, Thomas, you were like, you could care less if you ever go back. I'm actually like even further with that to the extreme. I like, if I think about going back to like, our old lives, I get
Yeah.
like stressed out, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like really anxious.
like I
and,
get really
like, I don't
anxious.
wanna
Yeah,
do
I'm like,
that.
oh my god, I can't. I literally cannot.
Yeah, I couldn't go back to like the life that we had prior. We
Yeah.
would do something different. We would travel somehow, some
Exactly,
way.
yeah.
If we had to work camp or whatever it would be, we'd probably find, or we just would live differently. I guess we'd probably
I
live a
think
lot
so.
smaller and
Yeah.
cheaper, and not have to worry about having a job making so much money. So
Yeah.
it's surprising how much you realize that you can live on a whole lot less.
Oh,
when you're not
yeah.
spending
For
on
sure.
just junk in
Yeah.
your house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have to give a shout out to Sandbar. Thank you for sharing part of you with all of us. Really enjoy what you published. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Sandbar.
Thank you.
He's our newest
A
patron.
newest patient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, cool.
Oh,
And thank you, Rich.
yes,
This is
thank
really
you,
nice.
Rich.
You guys are awesome.
So RV SWAT had a question about drones. Which do you recommend? Now we both use two different drones.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We have the Maverick and you guys
Mavic.
Sorry, the Mavic, the original one, and then you guys had the Phantom,
Yeah,
right?
we had
Yep.
the Phantom.
Phantom.
Well, then add an R.
No, I'm
Isn't Maverick and Phantom like so
No.
much cooler though?
No, he's joking. It's Phantom.
Yeah, we have a Phantom 4 Pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think that came out like right after ours came out. Like it's a better version of the Phantom series. Got better camera and stuff on it.
oh yeah, Pro version 2 or something. Yeah, we it is interesting because you guys are really happy with your drone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so are we. We love ours too, and I honestly, for anyone that does what we do, I personally would recommend the Mavic, even though I don't have it, and I wish I had the Mavic, just because of the portability. Like lugging the Phantom around on a hike, is kind of a sort of a pain. It's just so big. It's not that it's heavy or anything. It's just so big. But I have heard that the Phantom is better in high winds. It can handle windy conditions better. And I don't know if it has a better camera. I think the cameras are pretty comparable.
It's
Similar.
slightly better,
Yeah.
but nothing that you're gonna notice.
Exactly. Nothing.
Unless it's side by side.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
really.
And
if-
even then, you'd have to be like
And
staring.
they're both
Yeah.
DJI products, which is a well-known, maker of drones anyways. So
Yeah.
I think as long as you buy like a decent brand, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't regret getting the Phantom, especially since we bought it like right before the Mavic came out. I was actually pretty mad, but I didn't even know the Mavic was coming out. I think we got it like a couple months before the Mavic came out or something like that. So, but I mean, we're happy with it, and just depends on what you're doing. If you're not going to be traveling and space isn't an issue, then I think you should get the Phantom probably. But if you need the portability, then it's the Mavic all the way, hands down. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
intentionally bought ours because you're able to fold it up and practically put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
We've definitely put it in a backpack and accidentally like smashed our bananas one time on
Yeah.
a hike. Like we got there and there was like bananas stuck
All
in
in
the
the
drone.
rotor.
Oh no! Gosh.
We've definitely done that.
Ew. Well, Deborah responded to you and said just to email her before you come
Okay.
to California.
Yeah, we're gonna reach out to all of our California people. If you have sent us your info, we're definitely gonna reach out because I think we're gonna need some help going through that state.
Yeah,
for sure.
especially with the gas prices alone.
So we'll probably utilize you guys and Boondockers welcome, and make our way across.
Craig just got on and he said
Craig.
2 of my favorite channels, going through all the not lost videos now, trying to catch up. It's awesome.
Oh my God.
I binge watch away.
Don't watch anything from like before 3 months ago.
No, watch
It's
it.
terrible.
Watch it all.
Or at least start at the very beginning. I hate when people are like, "Oh, I caught your newest video," and then they start at the beginning and see how terrible we were.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
like-
embarrassing.
We feel the same way when people say like they're binge watching like our early videos, and we're like, oh
We
no,
got
it's so bad.
we got a comment yesterday, and I can't remember what video it was on, but I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot we even made that video because it was like so long
So
ago."
old,
And I was
yeah.
like, "When's the last time someone commented on that?" It's too funny when that happens.
Yeah.
I actually just thought of a possible collaboration funny idea. Reacting to our first ever YouTube videos
It's
together.
actually not a terrible idea.
Ours is pretty bad.
That would be awful.
Our stuff is so boring.
I don't know if
in
I've
the
seen you
beginning.
guys. Have we watched their early?
I don't know if I've seen your first video.
Our very first one, we take a shot right before we do the
It
video.
starts out with
Oh,
us
yeah?
like, taking a shot.
It
Yeah.
starts out with me and David being dorks in the snow throwing snowballs at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Better.
seen your first one.
Yeah.
I didn't
okay.
think it was that bad.
I don't think
I
I've seen
think
it.
But, yeah.
every time I watch it, I literally just go like this. I'm just like, oh my god, please turn it off.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Scott wants to know what the solar count is now.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Clarify, Scott. What do you mean by solar count? And we will answer. Oh, hey, Ken Kronk's on.
Hey Ken.
I'm sure Hariven's watching also.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
The lottery is never a plan.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So is there a reason you don't let the animals ride in the travel trailer on travel days?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So,
oh,
I'll
yeah.
do it.
Well, okay.
There are two reasons. The first reason is because it's basically a giant earthquake in here every time you travel down the road, especially in a travel trailer compared to like a Class B or a
Mhm.
Class C, because they have more suspension and you're actually like riding in it while you're traveling down the road. The second reason is when we were way back in Vermont, we were switching from one spot to another spot. They were 8 miles away, and we left the rabbits inside.
But it was in the national
It
forest.
was in the national forest. We were going really slow, but we left the rabbits inside because getting them in their travel cage is cool. and we had to move pretty quickly.
And
to
this
get
is
the
when we
site.
first hit the road.
First hit the road.
Yeah.
And when we got back in the trailer, they were petrified.
Yeah, they were very scared.
And rabbits can die of stress, and like I was scared that they like were just too upset.
Yeah.
So
we were like, never again.
never again. And if the rabbits get that upset, I can only imagine what any other animal in our travel trailer would do if we were traveling down the highway, especially.
Yeah, and like think about, it's like Jenny mentioned, the suspension is very different. Yeah, trailers, or at least our trailer, and most 99.9% of them don't have any shocks. They just have
shock
springs,
suspension.
so there's nothing to stop the bouncing.
Yep.
Once it starts bouncing, it's bouncing. So all the way down the road, it's gonna be bouncing. So yeah, to make our pets go through that would be pretty terrible.
That'd be bad.
Not to mention it's gonna be hot or cold in there.
Exactly.
On a long
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
somewhere. So.
Yeah, and we like it. We like having everyone in the truck too, because we know they're
Yeah, it's
safer.
cozy
And it's nice to have them. Butters, rides right between us, and that's adorable.
they all sleep the whole time, and if they were in the trailer, I doubt they'd sleep at all.
Probably,
So.
yeah.
So Lola asked if I'm getting my animal fix. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Alice has spent a couple of days with us. Sweetie's come over and said hello, so I'm loving it.
Yeah.
All right, hey Scott, clarified. How many amp hours have you got now? I thought you upgraded either the panels or batteries, either David or Thomas. I'm still at 400 watts and 400 amp hours. So
Yeah, y'all are gonna upgrade, aren't you?
yeah,
We're gonna be upgrading in July. We're currently at 480 watts of solar, but we're gonna be putting another 190 watt panel on our roof. We've got one more spot for a solar panel, so we're gonna have 670 watts on the roof, and then we're also gonna have a 130 watt fold out expansion panel. So like on a day like today when it's really cloudy, we'll probably put that out just so we can capture as much solar rays as we possibly can, and try and charge back up and get through that cloudy day or days without firing the generator up. So we will have 670 on the roof or 800 total with that expansion panel out. We do have 400 amp hours of lithium batteries, and we're not going to be increasing that just because
that's way too expensive to increase.
it's not in the budget. I can get a panel,
No.
but I can't get batteries.
Can't get batteries.
Yeah. And you guys,
We're at 400 watts of solar, and we do have room for some more. So I might add some more similar maybe later on this summer, or maybe I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Because we've realized that especially the cloudy days lately, if we sit still for a long time, we need more solar than we have. When we're driving around, it's not an issue whatsoever.
Yeah.
But since we've been sitting still, we definitely...
We have two 100 amp hour lithium batteries.
Yep.
And typically the way that we travel, there's not been an issue because our alternator, charges us back up,
Yep.
even on days like today. But since we've been caravanning, we've really been pushing our limits on solar. We have had to crank that generator up a couple times.
Yeah, we sure have.
So we're starting to realize that if we wanted to stay out longer, we definitely need some more battery space.
Yeah, plus the weather hasn't been great lately, so it
It's
kinda,
been hard.
we're using pretty much the majority of our battery banked down, so then we gotta run the generator to get it back up because the solar isn't great because of the clouds. So.
yeah, we're really noticing with you guys how important that extra 200 amp hours has been, because you guys have been firing your generator up. When it's cloudy like today, you got to fire it up just about every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas we just fired the generator up yesterday for the first time since we've been camping with them. So
And we've had to run ours 3 or 4 times at least.
yeah,
Several. I mean, because we're editing all day, so
Yeah.
you'd be
Yeah.
surprised how much power a desktop pulls.
oh big time. Oh, that's
Yeah.
another.
Oh,
thing.
that's right. Yeah, you
you
guys
have a
have a
desktop
desktop.
computer.
Now, if we were outside exploring or something like that, then we wouldn't be pulling the power. The inverter would be off. It would last longer.
You'd be charging.
But
yeah.
because we've
Yeah.
been sitting still and mainly inside because the weather's bad,
Yeah.
we're using more
Yeah.
power and we can't put the power back in either.
I do
so.
envy you guys in the fact that your alternator on your
It is nice.
it charges up your batteries
Yeah.
while you
Yeah.
drive. Ours does. Our truck charges, but it only goes to like a certain point, and it only feeds about 7 amps.
Yeah.
And it'll only go so far. Once we get to about 60 or 70% battery,
It doesn't
it
charge
stops.
anymore.
So
Oh, yeah, because the voltage is
exactly.
too high.
Yeah. Well,
lithium
so
voltage
at
is a lot
like
higher.
This jogger was up at like 6:30 this morning.
Well, I know, I heard it.
I
And
yeah.
instead of cranking the generator, we just cranked up the RV because it is
I
quieter.
mean, that was really nice. We do appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So we're still getting the charge, and we also will use that heat as
Yeah.
well instead of our furnace. 'Cause
Oh yeah, that would be
You
really
may
nice.
as well. It's running. It's,
Exactly.
it's not
And
gonna
if
cost you
we
any
crank up
extra.
the generator, we're trying to pull all the amps we can into the batteries so we don't turn on the the heat strips because it will
Yeah.
draw the generator down and not put as much power in. So and actually our alternator puts more power in than our generator does.
Really?
It does.
Wow.
Sure does.
It's just not. It can't be as efficient because you're just turning that engine. You're burning all that gasoline to turn the engine.
Yeah.
And whereas your generator is actually.
We talked about that. I would
Purpose-built.
love to test it and see how, because the generator uses what, 3/4 of a tank an hour?
Yeah, 3/4 of a gallon.
3/4 of a gallon. I'm sorry. I'd love to know how much gas and how
Yeah.
much more expense we're using just by cranking the RV.
Yeah, because then again, the generator is a carbureted engine, whereas your vehicle's engine is electronic fuel injection.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more efficient than a carbureted engine. That is interesting. You guys should do that test.
Yeah.
I'm really interested.
How would we do the test though? I mean,
I already told you we'd have to like sit in a gas station parking lot and do it because we couldn't go anywhere because we have to know how much gas we put back in it.
that's true.
True.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Because you wouldn't be able
though.
to drive anywhere because then you're using the gas.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
the real problem is it's the exact same tank from the engine and the generator anyways.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's a cool test. I'm really interested.
Yeah.
How about a shout out? Susan wants a shout out.
Hi,
Hey,
Susan.
She's
Hello,
at every
Susan.
she's
She
at
is-
every
she
live
is,
stream.
yes.
Nice.
Got to give her the shout out.
How's my channel doing?
Oh boy.
Ask me a different day.
Yeah, let's ask her a week from now at the next live stream.
Yeah. No, 2 weeks. 3 weeks from now.
Well, whenever the next live stream is.
Whenever the
well,
next-
whenever we hit the road.
Oh
next,
yeah, whenever we hit the road next.
We've been having hardware issues, software issues.
Video issues,
So many
audio
issues.
issues. Stupid. I've been having a bad day. I had to completely scrap a whole video that I started editing today just because it was.
Yeah, it's true.
It was the audio is desync from the video over 4.5 minutes. I'm just not dealing with that.
And there's audio like
There's like
it just went like
popping
totally.
and crack. Like I sounded like a robot.
Yeah, it was awful. It's just
bad.
unusable. So it's just like scrap it, and then at the video after that you filmed, she's gonna do like a recap. Yeah.
Only one major thing happened in that video, so
Yeah.
just recap it.
Ken says when I brought it up to my wife, she said, "No way." Now after a few trips, it's all she talks about.
Oh, nice.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah.
So, you know you can't fit through there. Oh,
Oh, Tammy's in.
Terry's, I'm 12 minutes late. Ugh.
I bet that was.
That was 11 minutes ago.
Yeah, so we're behind.
Yeah.
So a couple of people have asked about our work camping.
Sweetie.
You guys ask every time we're live somewhere. So we don't have any work camping coming up, and I know we keep saying that, but we've been more focused on the channel and just trying to grow the channel, and it's been successful. So, you know,
Oh, there we
we
go.
haven't found a job really that we can kind of do both. We are interested in possibly doing Yellowstone next summer. So I'm going to look into that in November because that's when you really need to start applying is in November. I've already done like the seminars and stuff with them. So once that rolls around, we'll kind of make a better, more educated decision. But our biggest focus is the channel. We love work camping. We just don't want it to get in the way of what we're trying to accomplish here too.
Exactly.
So-
When we were in the Keys, it was perfect because we had to work 20 hours a week, so we had plenty of time to work on the channel. But most of the work camping gigs want 40 hours a week, and we can't work 40 hours a
Right.
week. And
Because a lot of stuff
From the
out here
channel.
is seasonal, right? So if you're
Yep.
going to Grand Canyon or Yellowstone and stuff like that, they want a
Oh, yeah.
3-month commitment minimum, and then they want you to work 34
we don't want to
Yeah.
sit somewhere 3 months either. So
You guys can barely even sit somewhere for a week.
I know, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about caravanning together is that Jenny and I typically stay at a site for 2 weeks. We max the stay limit out, and we do that.
I'm just gonna move it.
We do that mainly to save money because our second biggest expense is fuel. So if we move less, we burn less fuel and we save money. But we also just like when we find a nice spot, we like to just chill at it, you know.
I like to wander around it, kind of see what it has to offer.
Yeah,
too.
and like we said, we're kind of we are homebodies, so we don't mind just chilling in the trailer and stuff. Whereas these guys are
We're
like,
not homebodies.
Yeah,
We're
they're the
like,
exact
where
opposite.
can we go hike? What can we go do? You know, is there a gym somewhere?
Yeah.
How can we get out of the RV at some point?
Guys, it was snowing the other day from where we just came from, and no joke, one day, all of a sudden they didn't want to be inside anymore.
like we gotta leave.
We gotta go.
Yep.
But yeah, it was, but we've kind of met in the middle, and we were like, okay, you guys typically drive, or you move every, like 3-4 days?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
And we move every 2 weeks. So we're like, well, maybe we can meet at like
Yeah.
moving every week. And so that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with where we were camping is, and we chose these camping spots, but
Stop
you
it,
know, the
Sadie.
first place was like an hour from anywhere, and then the second place we barely even accessed with our RV, so there was no way we were going to drive and experience anything. So we were a little more hindered.
You'd have to ride with us, and then that was it. Like, that's the only way you guys were able to get in and out.
You're showing that in a video, right?
We are, that's all in the video. But I just I think that's why we were so like uneasy with the stationary part of it.
Yeah.
And that's why we're happy to be here too, because
we can come and go.
We can come and go, and it's not far. And so we're excited to be here, and that's why we're gonna stay here 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In this undisclosed location in Montana.
That's awesome.
No, I already said it was in Utah.
Oh, dang it.
Just not where.
So we got a question from Brother Boy. He said, David, when you run your generator, how is that done? Do you plug in with your shore power cable, which runs through the inverter? How is this done? So when you plug into a generator, it basically acts as shore power. You plug your RV into the generator's plug or outlet or whatever.
There's a little adapter you can get.
Yeah, and it basically simulates being on shore power. It charges the batteries. It supplies 120 volt power to all the outlets and the various 120 volt appliances that need it. And then the 12 volt appliances still draw from the batteries. The inverter's off because you don't need the inverter to supply 120 volt power since the generator's doing that. And yeah, it's basically like plugging into shore power.
So this is how you get Sweetie to stop being a jerk.
Aww.
Yeah, but as soon as you stop.
Find somebody else.
Hey, don't try to sucker me.
She loves her chest being rubbed.
What about family and friends relationships? Do you still maintain communication? Of course. Yeah, there's people back home that we talk to all the time. I talk to my brother and my best friend every day, and I talk to my dad, at least once a week, if not more. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, absolutely.
And then I didn't have any family that lived back in Indiana. So my family all lives in, like, California. I guess your family's my family, so I guess I do have family that lives in Indiana. Yeah. And that's all. That's really all that I miss from Indiana is his family. And then it's been our first year on the road. We got to go visit a ton of my family that I hadn't seen in 3 years, right, at the time?
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Cody said, never heard of Not Lost. Looks like I have a new channel to watch.
Don't watch it. It's terrible.
Well, at least don't watch anything older than 3 months, according to Stacey.
Yeah, exactly.
You're only allowed to watch the newer stuff.
Yeah, only the new stuff.
Also, hi, John from Waterbury. We see that you're on there.
Oh, Waterbury, Connecticut?
Yeah.
Nice. Hi, John. David, I love your old videos. Keep your longer hair. Nice.
What?
I like your long hair. I mean, you weren't going to shave
I
it.
had
He
longer
wasn't.
hair? Oh,
Remember
then, okay.
It was
yeah,
all one length back then?
I gotcha, yeah.
All one length and very
That
short.
was stupid. I was just lazy.
So there was a question about camping from Florida to Arizona. I mean, I guess it just depends on what kind of camping you like. There's a gajillion RV parks in between there. We boondockers walk them a lot, and we stay anywhere for free, like freecampsites.net.
If there's a place that they should definitely go in between.
I know. I'm saying I couldn't tell you because we don't camp like normal people do.
No, we don't. I mean, there's some cool stuff to do in Texas if you're going like if you're going west, you're probably gonna take I-10 or I-12.
Yeah.
So
we've been told
that goes through New Orleans, that goes through Houston and San Antonio too, I think, right? So it goes through a lot of. You can do the Riverwalk and the Alamo. If you're in Texas, go south and you can do Galveston. There's the beaches there. You can stay around the beach in your RV. Yeah. So there's some stuff to do in Texas.
We've been told that the state parks there are beautiful. So if you can get into a state park, would be the time to plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's some free beach camping near Galveston, but getting into it is tricky. You have to know which entrance is hard packed enough to pull into.
Yeah, we got stuck.
We got stuck.
We haven't been. We had several people tell us about it. So
yeah.
Why travel trailer and not another type of RV?
Well, that question must be for us, but that is a good question because they have a class B plus, CB, whatever you want to call it. And
motorhome. There we go.
I have recently been a little jealous of how fast they can set up and tear down.
Or just
and,
how flexible they are in site selection and stuff.
And
unless there's a big hill.
Unless there's a hill. And then we're the only ones getting up it. So.
The hill's fine as long as it's a paved road, but as soon as it's not paved, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think both channels basically went with what we could afford out the gate, right?
Yeah.
Because all of this was unknown for us. So we tried to do what we could have paid off and be responsible about what we were purchasing. So for us, we started with the travel trailer. We didn't know what our travel style was when we first got started. And I think about 6 months in, we started to really feel the
Being
pains.
full-time in it,
yeah,
yeah.
being full time, the pains of having to set up and break down
Yeah.
and wonder where your next camping spot's going to be. So we changed to the motorhome, and we love it because we can move quick and we don't have to worry about where we're camping at, because worst case scenario, we can always find a Cracker Barrel somewhere or
Yeah.
Walmart somewhere.
Yeah.
True. And then for us, even if we were to switch to like a class, like a small class C or a B plus or something, like forget that we have animals and it's probably not going to work anyway. We like to stay somewhere for 2 weeks
Exactly.
to explore everywhere, and like having to constantly move for those 2 weeks and then come back to whatever campsite in hopes that it hadn't been taken, especially in a busy place,
Yeah.
Yep.
is like stressful for me. So like having a vehicle that we can take and something we can leave behind is kind of nice.
Yeah, there's always going to be pros and cons to every single RV.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is no perfect rig, and you guys all made excellent points as to why you might choose a trailer or you might choose a motorhome, but it really just depends on, you need to like make a list of what is most important to me, and then whatever RV satisfies that criteria the best is the one to go with.
Yeah, if we move slower, like I think y'all have the perfect RV for how fast you move, because it's not huge. It's, some people get way too big of RVs and they can't take them hardly anywhere, and that's an issue. So don't make that. I would say don't make that mistake. But y'all pretty much nailed it, because you have to take down. It takes like 30 minutes, but it's once every twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once
A
every
week,
weeks.
yeah.
So we move a lot quicker, and so our RV is good for us. But if we slowed down, we would definitely go a little bit bigger, and we would probably tow a vehicle or something, because we wouldn't want to drive our RV everywhere like we do right now if we were going to sit still for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah. And William, to answer your question, we have a 2014 Itasca Viva. It's the same thing as a Winnebago Trend. It's 24 feet, no slides.
Oh, thank you, Doug. He said sweets for treaty, sweets for treat,
Oh.
treats for sweetie.
Yeah,
Nice.
She hears you.
Wait, hang on.
Sweetie.
There you go, Doug. I'm gonna answer this one. Do ants get in the pet food? I'm overrun with the pests.
Oh no.
So we have sealing plastic bins that we use for the pet food. So we buy the bagged pet food and then we dump it into the
Is that
plastic
too bright?
containers. It has a
Okay.
little latch on the top, but the seal around it is rubber. Now, when I lived in my little apartment and I just had Butters with me, yes, I had an ant problem and I could not get rid of them to save my life. The only thing that helped was getting that plastic container that had the rubber seal. I got mine at Walmart, and it was like $15, and I've had it since 2011 now, and it's still perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The seal is still good. And then Sweetie has a screw-on lid for hers because it's bigger, but hers also has a rubber seal. And then the rabbits, they're pellets, even though it's like plant-based matter and stuff, I still got them a little one that has the rubber seal on the top too. That's how we keep the ants out. We've never had an ant problem since we hit the road.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like if you spill any food, any cat food or dog food, clean
gotta
it up
clean it up.
instantly,
Yeah.
vacuum it up. Don't let that stuff hang around, because that is going to be what attracts the ants. And then
We forgot to tell Austin we were going.
Well, I just saw. I know. I thought
He's
about that.
on though.
Yeah, he is on. Well, he's the man. That's all. Yeah. Hey, Austin.
Hi, Austin.
Thanks for.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks for coming without any notice at all.
I know. Yeah, he's awesome.
Got here one for Jenny. It says, is there a list of campsites reviews, and have you done any campsite reviews in Southern California?
Yes, actually. So on our
Yep.
website, we have, so our website is fateunbound.com. We have different tabs depending on, what you're looking. If you're on your phone, there's like 3 little lines at the top. You open that up and it brings up all of the options for the different pages you can go to. And I have one that's purely campsite reviews. And I also have that in subcategories. You can see certain maps that I've made where I've pinpointed all the campsite reviews. You can get directions to them that way.
Well, you can look at them by state. So
You
if
can
you
look
want
at
to see
them
the
by state.
site reviews for a
Yes.
specific state, you can do that. There's a map. You click on the state. Yep.
So in Southern California, I don't know if Fresno is considered Southern, but I have a campsite review near Fresno. I don't know if
East of it, yeah.
east of Fresno in the mountains, and then I have one down near
On Zabrego.
on
Desert Springs, yeah.
Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anza Borrego Desert
South
State
of
Park.
Joshua Tree.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Those are the only ones I have in Southern California. When we started getting towards the north, we stayed with family.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything basically near the north.
Land Pirate says, "Are you guys still opposed to slide outs?" Yes,
Yes.
Yep.
we are.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and so
Yeah,
you guys, you actually had slide outs.
We had
We
2.
did.
Tell us about them.
Oh, they're great. They can break.
Well,
It's one more thing you have to deal with.
yeah,
You have to level because you can't really put them out if you're not level. And then they leak, so that's a thing.
Yeah, so they're great for space, right?
Yeah.
I mean, slide outs, it just depends on what you enjoy. But yes, depending on the mechanics, they can break down easier. You have to keep them maintained. It's just something else, another expense. And then also, something that a lot of people don't think about is if you don't have slide toppers, you have to crawl up there and sweep your slides off. So every time we were leaving camp and we were breaking down, I would crawl up there with the broom and sweep both sides off, and so that Thomas could let the slides in. We have crushed things in our slides. I mean, for
Several
us, it was
things.
just more of a headache than anything. But
Yeah.
the leaking and the maintenance was, I guess we were just constantly waiting for them to break down. And
Yeah, no, I have to say, if we were going to move slow, like when we were in the Keys for 2 months, the slides were awesome because we had the extra space and we didn't move for 2 months. So that was
Yeah.
awesome. So if you're only going to move every 2 or 3 months, then it might not be that big of an issue compared to when you're moving quickly.
Oh yeah.
You know, even every few weeks, you're
Mhm.
using those motors and they just.
They're not made for repeated
Yeah.
use, right?
They're
Exactly.
really not. I wish that they made more RVs without slides. Like if
Yeah.
I was to buy like a Class A or something, I'd buy an older one, bus style fiberglass roof and no slides because all the newer ones have slides and that's just one more thing to deal with and break. And
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is slides are really heavy too, so it cuts down on your cargo capacity big time. We've got some friends,
We
shout
do.
out to Jason and Misty, that have, I think they've got 2, maybe 3 slides,
I think that's 3.
and they have, their cargo capacity on their trailer is over 1,000 pounds less than our trailer. So they're, at least when last time we hung out with them, they were really struggling to keep their trailer under its GVWR. So
Like they were literally like getting rid of like cleaning products because it was like that.
yeah,
freaking
they were
close.
like, they were actually like 100 pounds over, I think he said. Whereas our cargo capacity is over 2,200 pounds. It's just massive. So slides are really heavy, and
It
they
would
also
be really hard to even get close to that for us.
yeah, you'd have to be trying in this trailer. And what was the other thing I was gonna say? Cost, yeah, it increased the cost of the trailer too, or the fifth
Yes.
wheel. So
Isn't it?
yeah, that's how we were able. Yeah,
They're in.
yeah, see, yeah, that's exactly what I said. Weight is an issue for sure with slides, and so yeah, lost my train of thought again. Yeah, so if you want to,
they're just not for us.
exactly.
There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I personally would not have them unless you're moving really slow.
Yeah.
And then I still think there's some slides to avoid altogether. Like for example, if you have one where your bed folds in half. Has anybody ever slept on an RV mattress before? They're terrible.
They are
So you're
terrible.
gonna add a topper of some sort. Well, then you gotta fold that in half.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like so, it's gonna make your bed just uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So I would just avoid one of those altogether, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you really nailed it. If you're going to be staying in a spot for months at a time, then slides are probably the way to go just to get that extra space. But if you're going to be moving every other week or who knows, yeah. Again, pros and cons to every situation. You just have to decide what's best for you.
Any thoughts on schoolies?
So the only reason, so I'd have to get, like if we were to switch to a schoolie, let's say that's what we wanted. It would have to be a small one. And yeah, I think I'd be okay with it though if it was like a short.
They're narrower
bus?
though. I don't know if you know that. They're narrower than our trailer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not as wide, and when you're this small, 6
Already.
inches is a big difference.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a small one though. I don't think I could do a big ol' one.
I've never been in a schoolie before that's been fit like an RV is, so I honestly can't even.
I've only seen the Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
and
I
they
mean,
look
come
really
on.
cool.
I've seen some like we've seen this huge one that had like 9 kids, no lie, 9 kids
Yeah.
in Tennessee, and it was a really big like flat front end bus, Bluebird I think is what it was. The downfall, in my opinion, to buses and van build outs is typically your insurance is written And normally, most insurance companies, your clause, your paperwork says that you can't live in your vehicle.
Oh yeah.
So with an RV, you can live in your vehicle. Plus, insurance is cheaper than like a van.
Oh my
insurance.
gosh, RV. I don't know what your guys' insurance is, but to insure this trailer, it's $250 a year.
Ours
wow.
It's stupid, and that's full coverage.
Yeah, so ours is $100 a month, but this is also a vehicle.
It's also your vehicle, yeah.
And so, and we try to have,
we have
really good limits.
coverages,
Yes. Because we don't know what other people's are, so we want to make sure we're 100% covered.
That's the only scary part to me is the insurance thing. Now, I've heard that some people say that they had trouble getting into parks, but that's rare. But it can happen because we've seen buses in parks and state parks, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard that can be an issue as well. So I would just keep those things in mind.
Yeah, it's good points.
William asked about boondocking in Florida.
Okay.
So Florida does have like a water management. What's it called?
There's different districts. So, for example, it might be called Southwest Florida or Southwest Water Management Systems. So it might be. And then there's one for the Southeast and the Northeast. So there's different districts, but all of them have free camping. You basically just have to go online, put in that you want to go there. They'll give you the gate code to wherever it is, and you can stay, like 14 days?
14 days,
And you can stay like so many days total. There's some specific rules to it.
But there are free boondocking spots all over Florida. I believe most of them are on freecampsite.net. So if you want to check that out, just keep in mind, if you're not from Florida, it's hot. Even in the winter, it might not be as cold as you want it to be. So for boondocking anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
So someone said that they said our channels are saving them $80 a month because they canceled their cable.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
They're just watching YouTube. That's awesome.
Yeah, we canceled cable like a year before we hit the road. So we get used to it.
Land Pirate asked, what do you do with all your Elder Scrolls stuff? So like all our collectibles, is that what you mean? They're packed up in boxes and they're being stored at my parents' house in one of their closets.
Yes, and we were probably never going to sell them because we already know that we probably won't full-time RV forever.
Yeah.
We will probably settle down in some sort of an off-grid house that we build, but it won't be for between 3 and 10 years.
Yeah,
I know that's like
pretty far in the future.
Really like big time frame, but like that's our time frame is 3 to 10 years, and then we'll take them with us.
Yeah, because if we sold that stuff, a lot of that, like they only made like 500 of them in the entire world. So it's like if we sell it, never finding it ever again. So.
Yep. So.
Someone asked, how long can you boondock before having to dump your waste tanks? Unless you go ahead and.
Sorry. RV tripping, right?
Yep.
Is that what that says? Thank you very much. Fresno, Baby, more Central California, but some wine cash for Jenny's reviews. Keep up the great work, both of you. Well, thank you.
Or are you saying Stacey? Sorry.
The next question was, how long can you boondock before having to dump your waste tanks?
So we can go 2 weeks, on the dot.
We can go 2 weeks. If we know that we're going to stay longer than 2 weeks, we can go longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah, we do take measures. That's true. Without if we know we're gonna be somewhere for 3 weeks, we do some things like we'll scoop out this. Well, yeah. We conserve water.
We conserve water.
You guys also have dual gray tanks because you have a composting toilet, so you can go a little longer.
Yeah. You guys don't. You guys have a black tank.
Yeah, we go about 8 days max.
Yeah, I would say 8. We've gotten further out of it, but when we get those 8 to 10 day times, we are taking showers at the gym, and so we're not filling up that gray tank. If we're taking showers like in the RV every single day, it's gonna be like 3 days.
Yeah, but I think even with the black tank, so even if we try to conserve on water for our gray, even with the black tank, our max is probably 8 days.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about getting a composting toilet?
We have, but
I looked into it, but the way our door shuts.
Oh, that's right, your door.
Yeah, it faces, because our toilet faces the door. The door wouldn't even shut.
Do you really need a door though?
Yeah.
We live in a really small space.
We were just talking earlier, like how weird we are, right? Because, in the beginning, Thomas would turn on a TV or something, right, to go use the bathroom. Or if I was going to use the bathroom, he'd turn on a TV and we try to give each other privacy. Now it's like we're talking through the door at each other. It doesn't even matter what's going on. So,
we don't even close the door.
RV life, right?
Yeah, we don't even close the door.
Half the time.
But when we lived in a house, so we had a massive master bathroom when we lived in our house, and I would close the door and
it's disproportionately large to the rest of the house.
It was hilarious. It was it felt bigger than our freaking bedroom.
Yeah,
but,
it was comparable.
Yeah, David and I wouldn't even be in the bathroom at the same time half the time when we had a house, and now it's just the door's always open.
Well, why would we be in the bathroom at the same time?
I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
Conserve water taking a shower.
I guess, yeah.
Have you,
Oh, sorry. Go.
oh no, sorry. I'm lining up the questions for you guys.
Oh, yeah. It makes it easy.
I
It really does.
know. Katie wants to know if you guys plan on traveling to any gaming conventions.
Oh.
We've actually talked about
Yeah.
maybe going to some cons, but it's just like always so far away, and it just hasn't.
And they're in big cities,
Yeah.
populated areas, which are areas we don't like going to.
Exactly.
So.
And it's always like, there's one in Los Angeles, but we're in Utah or something, and we don't want to travel all the way out there just for that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because again, we're trying to keep our expenses as low as possible, so
There's
it's a lot
one,
of fuel.
if for some reason we're ever back in Indiana in August, there's the one gaming convention in Indy
Okay.
that we could go to with Nick and them.
Oh yeah.
But that's
That was more for
that's
stuff we
more
don't do though.
that's more for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's almost purely a Magic convention.
Yeah.
So, and we don't play that anymore.
Doug asked, "Are your security cameras performing as you want?" Sometimes yes, sometimes no. They we think because our IP address changes all the time because we're moving. We don't have a static IP. It kind of freaks the cameras out. So
We have a hard time connecting sometimes.
yeah, it's difficult making them connect to the our Verizon hotspot. So when they're working, they're great, but they can be a pain and take like 30 minutes or longer to get to connect. And then other times it's first try and they're
Yeah.
good to go. So
But we're not the only ones with security cameras.
oh yeah,
These guys have security camera.
We do.
You guys love yours, don't you?
Sense8?
Yeah, we do. It's called Sense 8, like SENS, and then the number 8. And we just bought it off Amazon. It was like $80. But it just plugs into a USB plug and it's Wi-Fi. We really like ours. We haven't had any issues with ours, but we only have an inside one right now. I'm thinking about adding some more to the outside. We'll
Yeah.
probably do like a video on it later once we've had it for about 6 months now, so it's actually about time for us to do the video on it.
The nicest thing for us is because our RV is our only vehicle, when we do need to like get the tires rotated or something like that, we can turn that Sense8 on and see everything that they're doing, because we obviously aren't going to unload our whole RV and all of our valuables for them to work on our RV. So it's nice to be able to watch them in real time as they're, working on the
Yeah, it is
coach.
handy. When we were walking around Riverwalk, the alarm went off and notified me that there was somebody was in the RV, and I was like, oh cool, they're moving the RV out of the place because they were changing the oil. And then like 20 minutes later, since they were done, they gave me a phone call like, oh yeah, we're all done and wrapped up. I was like, that's funny. Like I already knew that it was going to
they
be
were
done
done,
soon.
yeah.
I lost my place, sorry.
that's all right. I'm still scrolling. I'm trying to catch up. We're so far behind.
yeah.
We're a good 15 minutes behind.
Oh boy.
I know.
Austin, see your
I know.
That's how behind you are.
I know.
I don't like how it like refreshes you sometimes.
It's
Okay.
when you start to get close to the bottom, it like just skips you all the way to the bottom.
How do you deal with bugs, mice, and other critters? Thankfully, we haven't had any mice issues. And the only time we have bug issues is if we haven't
Like flying bugs or something.
like
though.
our sink, we don't have a dishwasher, so if we're getting lazy with the dishes, then some gnats will start to be attracted to that. But that's really the only issue with bugs we've ever had, and I think the rats and mice stay away just because we have so many animals. So like they can smell. I'm sure they can smell the cats and the dog, and they're like, I'm not going
yeah,
anywhere
they're
near
not gonna
that.
come in here.
So, how about you
Now,
guys?
we haven't had any issues in the current RV that we have. However, if you have slides, it's really easy for bugs to get in.
Oh yeah.
When we were down in the Keys for 2 months, that place is like littered with bugs. So we have infestation in our AC unit.
Yeah, they're actually in the ducted AC of our trailer.
Yep, we had these little black looking beetle bugs all in our RV, remember, in the bathroom. So
Yeah.
bugs were getting in all the time. And we've been told that when you go to Alaska, if you have slides, the bugs are going to get in there, and people are actually sleeping in nets in their RV because the bugs are so bad getting into
They'll
the
get in the
slides.
little
Way.
cracks of the because I mean
That's
no matter
gross.
what sills you have, there's gonna be a little spot there that might have a little rain gutter above it, but underneath it a bug can get in there.
That's crazy.
I actually just remembered we had, what were those, the lady beetles from Indiana.
Yeah, we did.
We did have a lady beetle infestation.
Right before we hit the well, it was because we didn't know that our windows had these openings.
Yeah, so
that
we
have
window
one,
has like slots.
Yeah, we have
big.
one window that has a couple of slots in it about, this long and just about this tall. And I think it's just so for like opening and closing the door, it doesn't like pressurize the area.
Something.
It's just so some air can move in and out. Anyway, we were having lady beetles crawl in because it was going into winter.
And so they were looking to hibernate.
They were looking to hibernate, yeah. So they would crawl in through those slots, and then they would get behind our dinette.
Yeah, and they were all hidden behind the dinette.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
it was cold enough that they started to hibernate. And then we drove down to Louisiana, and they all came out.
And it was just madness.
It was madness
Oh, wow.
in
They were
here.
just like...
Oh
like-
my gosh.
Yeah.
It took us about a week to get rid of them.
I
but we
forgot
got rid
about
of
that.
them.
Yeah, it was
wow.
it was like every 5 minutes there was one crawling up
It
from
was just
behind.
crawling out. We're
Yeah.
just like, oh!
Sweeping
There
up,
it is.
yeah. Yeah, but other than that, now we know that those slots are there, and I just kind of
We just put something in
I
there.
use like some cotton balls and I kind of stuff unless it gets wet. Like if it's cold out, then they just absorb so much moisture. I have to throw them away and blah blah blah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Stacy, when's your next live chat, or is this it? Which is fine, by the way. Enjoying all four of you. Is the next
Hi,
live chat?
Mike. Yeah. We usually do one once a month, but we haven't done one in weeks. So we don't know. We'll get with you, and we'll obviously notify you guys whenever we decide to do it. Maybe after we leave y'all. I would have loved to have done a dual one and just had both of our phones up for both
Oh, yeah.
channels.
Oh yeah.
But David, you told us so last minute that
Yeah, David.
I had no,
I wasn't
no
prepared.
material to prepare for. It's just
he
ridiculous.
Material.
gave us a 15minute notice.
I did.
So we'll try to do it once we're
No,
done
we're
carrying.
Here's an easy one: marine batteries or lithium. Lithium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hands
for
down.
sure.
Yeah, without question. They're more expensive up front, but they'll last longer and they'll pay themselves off in the end.
But wait for Black Friday deals, and don't be afraid to ask for scrap deals
Oh,
as
yeah.
well if you're shopping for lithiums.
Oh, here's one we've never seen. How often do you see tiny homes around when you're boondocking?
So I have never seen a tiny home while boondocking. Now the reason for that is because I'm actually pretty sure that they're not allowed to camp out on BLM land.
There's a lot of regulations, so people
Yeah.
just assume that you can make this tiny home and drag it anywhere, and that's not true. There's a lot of city codes and county codes and stuff that aren't going to allow that.
Yeah, and I hear that you have a really hard time getting into RV parks with them too.
Yeah, because our
I don't even know that they would
Exactly.
even allow it.
Yeah.
And they're so heavy too. They're a lot
Massively
heavier
heavy.
Yeah.
because they built like a house. So, like for example, in our motorhome, our kitchen counter, which looks really nice, is
Yeah.
actually styrofoam. Like if you,
What, really?
it is. It's
I
styrofoam,
didn't know
but like the little
With-
vinyl.
With the vinyl on top?
Exactly.
Wow.
So it looks like a normal countertop, but it's actually just styrofoam.
Yeah.
But that's weight reduction.
Exactly. And
You weren't
it's-
gonna do that in a tiny home.
Nope.
So, I don't think we've ever. I've seen some like at RV parks, but that's it. But I don't know if like
What?
that park owns them.
Yeah,
and they rent
Jason
them
and
out.
Misty says they have one in the RV park they're staying at.
Oh, they're
Wow.
lying.
Wow.
Couple of liars.
Picture art!
It's
not true.
Yeah, picture it's not true. No, well, I'm
I'm
joking.
just kidding.
Let's see.
What are your thoughts on the tiny houses you see on TV?
I
Did
mean,
you have
they're-
anything to expand?
I mean,
Really
I love
cool.
the thought of living in a tiny home, but not dragging it around.
Yeah, I think they're really cute looking and they're kind of neat. And if you want to downsize, that's great. But if you have a permanent location, then probably a tiny home is a good idea instead of an RV if you want to be there permanently. But if you're going to be moving around, then
Yeah.
and they're expensive too. I mean, you can get a good RV for so much cheaper. A tiny home actually costs about what a home costs, like $60,000 plus, and $60,000 for the really cheap ones. So
Yeah, so Cody asked, with RV and van life exploding over the last few years,
I was
would
just
you
reading
all
that one.
say that trying to start an RV park that is more of a van park that caters to people like us be a good idea? Obviously, any RV park would be a good idea if you can afford it, but you're looking at easily $10,000 a spot just to get started, depending on what part of the country that you're in. Plus, you have to buy the land.
Yeah, $10,000 per RV site. That's for sewer,
Wow.
electricity, concrete, gravel, whatever you're going to do. It's about $10,000.
That's what we priced back home. But
Yeah.
Wow.
That was in Florida. We looked into it ourselves, and it was pretty pricey.
it's quite an investment.
I do say that there could be some more modern RV parks. Why is there not good Wi-Fi? That makes no sense to me.
That's a
Why
good
is, I mean, if
question.
Walmart can have good Wi-Fi, why can't
Yeah.
a campground have good Wi-Fi? There's no real excuse.
I
So
wonder
just-
if the margins are just that thin that like they can't even invest in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. But the only thing I would say as far as you're saying like us, well, we like to boondock and we don't like to pay for places.
Exactly.
A lot of people who live in a van also like to stealth camp and they don't like to pay for places.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make a place where you're paying to go to that people who don't like to pay
Yeah.
to go to
Exactly.
places.
Yeah.
So
We-
that's the only thing I can think of that might be an issue.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been a few places. So we went to, now it was a national forest, Shawnee National Forest. There was a campground we stayed in. It was only $8 a night, but it was boondocking. I was okay paying $8 a night. That wasn't terrible, but it was only because that was the only place we could boondock. The only other place we've stayed that was like an RV park that was really cheap was near Winslow, Arizona. The state park there was free.
Oh,
Or
nice.
the county park was free. You didn't have any hookups, but they had bathrooms. So I mean, but that's a county park, and the other one was a national forest park. So
Yeah,
I don't know how like a privately owned
I
RV
think
park
it would
could be cheap.
Yeah, I think it would depend on where it's at. Like, for example, if you're in California, California is notorious for being terrible for RVs, right?
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
buy a piece of property and just let people boondock there and charge a cheaper fee, and you're probably going to catch those van lifers coming through.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
That
I mean,
actually.
$8 a night, people would probably pay that because there's nowhere
Yeah.
to park, or hey, get a $200 ticket, or pay $8 to stay one night.
Yeah,
They might
don't-
do it.
Don't bother
if
with
it's in a good,
hookups.
if it's in a really good location, though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then you're going to be paying for that location. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
that's
more-
a hard one. That really is.
If it was somewhere in the Central Valley, just but far enough outside of the urban areas to not be such expensive land,
Yeah,
but still, it's tough.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
tough.
Any plans to come to Colorado? We were there for like 2 nights.
Yeah.
It's snowing.
Yeah.
It's terrible there right now.
basically everywhere in Colorado. So we're hoping to go
Yeah.
back to Colorado after we leave here. Hopefully, it depends on what the weather's doing in 2 weeks.
We have
Oh.
3 minutes left, Jenny.
3 minutes. We better
Holy
hurry.
cow.
What other types of games does Jenny like to play besides The Sims?
I started a new Skyrim playthrough. I'm not videoing it because I feel like that would probably be kind of boring. But I play that. I like to play an online game called 7 Days to Die with David and Austin. And we have Signal now!
I know we can play.
have
We can
Signal
play. I know.
now!
It's been so long since we played. It's like a co-op zombie apocalypse game, but we haven't had data because we ran out last month, really early in the
Oh.
month. So
I'm so excited.
Did we answer when you park at Walmart, do you put up stabilizers?
Oh.
We did not answer that, and
we don't even unhook.
we don't even unhook.
Yeah, we stay hooked up. We don't put our stabilizers down. We just don't want to make it look like we are staying there for any type of period of time at all other than just overnight.
Yeah, now the reason we do that is because like there's an unspoken Walmart etiquette when it comes to RVs
Yeah.
and RVing and staying overnight at a Walmart. If you're going to make it look like you're staying there, which makes it look like maybe there's a homeless problem and people aren't going to want to go to that Walmart, then people aren't going to go to the Walmart and you're going to cost that Walmart
No.
money. So guess what? They're going to ban RVs from parking there.
Well, that's
Yeah.
or you know, you don't want to make it look like you're staying there long at all because Walmart isn't obligated to give those allow RVs to park there overnight. And we've come across plenty of Walmarts that say nope, they've had issues with it, so no more parking overnight.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we don't push the limit at all. When it comes to any of that, we don't want to make them think that we're staying there any longer than just overnight.
Yeah, when we don't have stabilizers, so we don't have anything to put down either.
But we wouldn't.
No, we typically
Yeah.
try to park out in the middle where no one's really at is what we try to do, and we honestly try to avoid Walmart. We normally try to go Cracker Barrel first because it's quieter, and then Walmart if Cracker Barrel's not around because there's pretty much always a Walmart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with the etiquette thing. Some people will just destroy it. We've seen people like rebuilding a roof
Mm-hmm.
and like with lawn chairs and barbecues out, and I'm like, this is not an RV park, like
Yeah, no.
crazy.
We've so we heard that like one of the parts of etiquette at camping at a Walmart or parking at a Walmart overnight is like you're not even supposed to put your slides out
Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah.
But some people have to put one out just because
just to
like
get through
they literally can't even they either can't get in or they can't get to their fridge or
or
something.
to their
but-
bed.
But
or
I
even.
think as long
Exactly.
as you're in your space, because you can kind of let the slide out some
Mhm.
and still
Yeah.
stay in your parking space
Yeah.
depending on how
True.
big your slide is.
We've seen people completely disconnected with their stabilizers down and everything, and we're
Yeah.
just
Slides out.
we're
and
just
you're
like-
okay.
Yeah.
Do you think a second bath or half bath is necessary?
Not for us.
Mm-mm.
Not for 2 people.
I think it depends on what your needs are and what kind of
Yeah.
luxuries you want.
If you had a family,
Yeah.
like if you had kids, then that would
Then
be that. Yeah,
probably,
that'd be really useful.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah, if we had kids, then I could definitely see the half bath thing going on. But and then with some fifth wheels, a lot of them, their bathrooms are like almost in the bedroom.
Mhm.
So maybe in some of those, because if you don't want people maybe going to your bedroom,
Yeah, the
then
bedroom
you
area.
might want one. But that's gonna be a personal thing. I don't think it's necessary. I mean,
Especially for 2 people.
yeah. I wish our RV was 2 foot shorter and the bathroom was just somehow smaller, but it's not. So
well, we got to get going, Jenny, because we've got the patron only live stream now.
Next. Yeah.
It is 6:01, so we're
hang
actually
on,
over.
I gotta get this
Yeah,
started.
I know. We always forget, don't we?
You guys want to hang out for the Patreon?
What us to do?
sure.
It's up to you guys.
How much
I
are
bet-
we getting paid for this? I'm kidding.
What is your time worth?
Sorry if we missed you guys' questions. We tried.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just so much.
There's a lot.
We'll end on this one. Dog Doodle Dandy said, "Love both your YouTube channels. It's so cool you guys met up, and Sweetie loves them too."
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah,
I love
well,
your name.
Sweetie is awesome.
Hang
Sweetie
on,
loves-
I can't get
Oh,
to my
all right,
laptop.
here you go. I'll just
Hang
move this
on.
here.
Thank you.
All right, that's good. All right,
Don't forget to hit that like button. I don't know what you are thinking.
Oh yeah, hit
Yeah.
the like button.
and if you haven't heard of their channel, I'm RVing, go check them out. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah,
This was fun.
it was fun.
Very laid back.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm glad you guys came. You like you said, you were feeding us the comments. That really helped.
Yeah.
Typically, there's some dead time, and we're just like,
Oh, us
sorry
too.
that
Yeah.
we're not saying
Us
anything.
Yeah.
too. It's so hard.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yep, so we're gonna head on over to, all the patrons that are watching. We're about to send you a message on Patreon.
Give
to
us
you the
about
link.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's gonna take us a minute.
Oh, I don't even think I have the hotspot on.
I
All right,
just
whatever.
turned this on.
All right,
so.
we'll see you guys later. Thanks for showing up.
Bye.
We always love the live streams. A ton of
Yeah.
fun.